Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder? A feeling that there's something more, something guiding us. Tonight, we travel back 2,000 years to a story that begins with just that. A mysterious star, a celestial beacon that would change the course of history. This isn't just any star. This star held a promise, a secret, powerful enough to command the attention of kings and scholars from the farthest corners of the known world. Our story begins in the East, a land rich with ancient wisdom, where learned men known as the Magi spent their lives studying the heavens. They were astronomers, advisors to kings, and seekers of truth. They knew the prophecies, the ancient texts that spoke of a new king, a ruler whose coming would be announced by a special star. For years, they had watched, they had waited. And then, one night, it appeared. A star unlike any other they had ever seen. It didn't just twinkle. It blazed with a divine light, a silent but urgent summons across the vast, dark expanse. This was it, the sign they had been waiting for. Imagine the decision they faced: to leave everything behind, their homes, their status, their comfort, embark on a journey into the unknown. The journey would be long, perilous, and uncertain. They would have to cross harsh, unforgiving deserts, navigate treacherous landscapes, and face dangers both seen and unseen. Yet, the call of the star was stronger than any fear. Their faith in the prophecy, their burning desire to find this newborn king, propelled them forward. They gathered their provisions, mounted their camels, and set their course with only that single brilliant point of light as their guide. Their journey was a testament to unwavering faith. Picture them, three figures silhouetted against an endless sea of sand. By day, the sun beat down relentlessly. By night, the desert air grew cold, and the silence was broken only by the soft padding of their camels' feet. But every night, as darkness fell, their guide would reappear. The star, their constant companion, would shine brightly in the heavens, reassuring them, leading them ever westward. It was a journey of weeks, perhaps even months. Along the way, they would have faced exhaustion, doubt, and the temptation to turn back. But their eyes remained fixed on the star, and their hearts remained fixed on their quest. They were not just travelers, they were pilgrims on a divine mission. After this long and arduous journey, the star finally led them to the land of Judea, and specifically to its capital city, Jerusalem. This was the logical place to start their search. If a new king of the Jews had been born, surely the news would be echoing through the halls of the royal palace. They entered the bustling city, a stark contrast to the quiet solitude of the desert, and made their way to the court of King Herod. Herod the Great was a powerful, ruthless ruler deeply paranoid about any threat to his throne. When these distinguished men from the east arrived, asking, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." A wave of fear and disturbance swept through the palace and all of Jerusalem. Herod, troubled and suspicious, immediately summoned his own religious experts, the chief priests and teachers of the law. He demanded to know where the Messiah, the prophesied king, was to be born. Consulting the ancient scrolls of the prophet Micah, they found the answer. "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people, Israel." Herod now had the location, but his intentions were far from pure. He called the Magi for a secret meeting. He pretended to share their desire to worship the new king, cunningly asking them for the exact time the star had appeared. "Go and search carefully for the child," he instructed them. "As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." But in his heart he was plotting murder. Unaware of Herod's sinister plan, the Magi left Jerusalem, their hearts filled with renewed hope. And as they set out, the very star they had followed from the east reappeared before them. It was a miraculous confirmation that they were on the right path. Imagine their joy and relief as the star moved ahead of them, guiding them on the final leg of their journey. It led them south, a few short miles from Jerusalem, until it finally stopped, hovering directly over the place where the child was. It wasn't a palace. It wasn't a grand estate. The star, this celestial guide, had led them to a humble house in the small town of Bethlehem. There was no royal fanfare, no army of guards. There was only a quiet, simple home. As they entered, they saw the child, Jesus, with his mother, Mary. The long journey, the desert crossings, the confrontation with a jealous kinglet had all led to this single, profound moment. In the presence of this child, these wise, wealthy, and powerful men were overcome with awe and reverence. The longings of their hearts were fulfilled. They fell to their knees, not before a king in a palace, but before a baby in a humble dwelling. This was the king they had traveled so far to find. Their quest was complete. They opened their treasures, the precious gifts they had carried all this way. They offered him gold, a gift for a king. They offered him frankincense, an aromatic resin used in worship, a gift for a divine being. And they offered him myrrh, a fragrant spice used for anointing and burial, a gift that foreshadowed the sacrifice he would one day make. Their act of worship was a beautiful, powerful moment of recognition. These men, who were not Jews, were the first to recognize and honor Jesus as the promised King. Their journey symbolizes a universal truth, that the call of God extends to all people from every nation and every walk of life. It's a story about seeking, about finding, and about offering the very best of what we have in worship. That night, their mission accomplished, the Magi prepared to return to Jerusalem to report back to Herod, just as he had asked. But God, who had guided them by a star, now guided them in a dream. They were warned not to go back to Herod. Trusting this divine warning, just as they had trusted the star, they changed their plans. They obeyed and returned to their own country by another route, completely bypassing the treacherous king and ensuring the safety of the infant Jesus. Their story ends here, but their legacy of faith, courage, and worship echoes through the ages. What can we learn from these wise men today? Their story is a powerful reminder to keep our eyes open for the signs God places in our lives. Sometimes He guides us in spectacular ways, like a brilliant star. Other times, His guidance is a quiet whisper, a gut feeling, a warning in a dream. The Magi teach us to be attentive, to be ready to act on that guidance, even if it means stepping out of our comfort zones and into the unknown. They also teach us about the nature of true worship. It's more than just words or songs. It's an offering of our whole selves. They gave their time, their effort, their resources, and their reverence. They brought their most valuable treasures and laid them at the feet of Jesus. It prompts us to ask ourselves, what treasures are we bringing to God? What parts of our lives, our time, our hearts, are we offering to Him? Their journey was long and difficult, but it ended in overwhelming joy. This is the promise for all who seek. The path of faith may not always be easy. There will be deserts to cross and challenges to face. But for those who persevere, for those who keep their eyes fixed on the light, the destination is always worth the journey. It leads to a personal encounter with the divine, a moment of profound peace and fulfillment that surpasses all understanding. The story of the Magi is a timeless invitation, an invitation to seek, to follow the light that God has placed in your life, and to come and adore the one true King. It's a journey that begins with a simple act of looking up and ends with finding everything you were ever searching for. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most beloved stories from the Bible. The adventure is just beginning. We have so many more incredible stories of faith, courage, and divine wonder to share with you. To make sure you don't miss the next chapter, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when our next journey begins. We can't wait to see you again.